Do you think this is talking about? What do you think this is talking about when it says don't neglect showing hospitality to strangers? What do you think this is talking about, Anthony?
I think it talks about, like, for instance, Dawn and I, there's a lot of people live in the deserts. There's a lot of people that end up there. And we always catch ourselves inviting them over, giving them a meal. If we have extra tents, we give them a tent, we give them sleeping bags, we tell them, and then we bring them to the next step, just to provide for them, to show them how to help themselves and to show them to the Lord. Because a lot of strangers are unbelievers. I mean, if it's a stranger to you, then you don't know whether that person is a believer or not.
I would tend, myself, appreciate that. I would tend to think that this is talking within the context of the body of Christ. We started out by brethren. I think the concept of brethren is carried to verse 2. I mean, anybody can be kind of nutso, but to take somebody that's a non-Christian into your home to spend a night or two or three, you're kind of, in a sense, putting yourself at risk a little bit if you don't know them, and you're putting your wife and your children at risk. But here we have a situation. Of I think it's pertaining to strangers that are out preaching. You had transient people in this day that were converts that were traveling around preaching and stuff, and they didn't have a house when they came to a town. You see, that's why I think we actually have a verse on this, don't we, where it says if somebody, when you go into a town, look for someone that will be hospitable to you. And so if you don't have a lot of money and you feel compelled to God to go out and preach the gospel, and you go into a Christian place, the Christian's question should be, where do you have to stay? How can I serve you? How long are you going to be here? How can I serve you? And I think that same principle carries over to today. And that's why within my situation, I have always had facilities for people to live almost everywhere I've lived since I've been a Christian. And it really kind of, with all due respect, it kind of irks me with some of my Christian friends that have money, that are out preaching like I have and have been doing it a long time, and they've got no place for another Christian to stay when they come to their house or come into their city or their community. Man, build a shed and put some bunks in it or something so some preachers come, and then how do you treat people that are Christians that come into town or something? How do you treat these people? Substandard? It's kind of like a pet peeve I used to have when I went to these, as a young man, I'd go to churches, and what is one of the best things about churches? It's when they get through at the church and they say, we're having a church buffet today, or brunch, or whatever they call it. And so here you are, single, and you're not eating right maybe anyway, and so, man, you head for that buffet line. And it used to irk me that oftentimes the people that would bring the food to those buffets, it's almost like it's leftovers and things that they would not even eat themselves, you see, and they're just bringing it to fulfill the pastor said, bring food, so they're bringing the cheapest and the most inexpensive thing they can do just to get by. To me, you bring the best. You see, we serve the great Lord, and that's the thing I like about Walt. When I went to Walt's thing over there at Next Step, and you've got all these transients and stuff, they're coming there for food. Man, the food he ate was quality food. When I directed the mission, I went in there, and man, I'll tell you, one time, I threw some stuff in the trash, and the guy come out to me. I directed the mission, but he was kind of the guy that procured the food. And he says, he was quite a bit older than me. He was all upset. You threw that stuff away? And I said, yeah. I said, what's wrong with that? He said, that was dinner for tonight. I mean, this food was rotten, and he was going to serve it to these guys for dinner. No, and so I changed the whole menu, and I talked him into, which wasn't easy, to buy the food in stores and bring it in, because if I can't, as the director of the mission on Skid Row, if I'm uncomfortable eating the food, how in the world should I give it to someone else? This is a form of hospitality. It's a form of hospitality to when people come and they to give them a bed and give them a place and give them some food and treat them nice and make them feel relaxed when they come into your home. Not like they're some invader from planet. Some of these women are so, it's almost like you're invading from the planet Zen or something when you step into their house, And then another preacher,